Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to our latest pick a reading. This reading was inspired from the collective reading. I'll put a link in the description box and in the comments. This is basically an extended version of what do you need to release and let go in this full moon in Sagittarius energy. Now, by the time this airs, it'll be past the full moon in Sagittarius, but we are still working through that energy. So, with that being said, behind each door is something that you need to look at, deal with, release, let go, face. I don't know. It's going to be different for each of you. I saw a snippet of a few cards, but I don't know. I reshuffled and put them up, so I have no idea what's behind each one either, which is kind of cool. So whichever door is leading you in, maybe it's one, maybe it's two, maybe it's all of them. But this feels very specific. I feel like there's a reason why I only have a half an hour to do 5 different readings. So I feel like they're going to be short and sweet and to the point and concise, and maybe you'll have an aha moment, maybe you'll have a breakthrough moment, who knows. But either way, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just go with the flow of it, okay? So starting from left to right, we have reading 1. Let me go down here a little bit. Whoops, it's so dark. Reading 2, reading 3, reading 4, and reading 5. So 1 to 5, okay? And it is pouring here where I live, and I'm sorry if it's really distracting. Maybe it's soothing, I don't know. But either way, you can stay, you can go, but I'm going to dive right into reading 1. And it is Asia. Okay, so for those of you who chose reading 1, there is something from your past in Asia, and it could be a current past. I mean, maybe you lived in Asia, maybe you, ooh, listen to that. Ooh, this is very profound, you guys. I was really blown away. I cleared out my phone and everything to make room, and I did it twice, and I still got a half an hour, and I know I could get more on my phone, but I feel like they're specifically wanting each one of you. I am truly the medium here today. You know what I mean? Like, if anything comes through, I'll tell you. But otherwise, for those of you who found yourself at these readings, especially like this particular reading right now, you already know. Like maybe the card flipped over and you were like, oh, you know what I mean? Or you're like, oh yeah, so I've had, when I was growing up, I was so drawn to certain cultures that were so far removed from my own. One of them was the Japanese culture, and I am convinced that I was a samurai of some kind, or some type of, I don't know, warrior, kung fu master. I don't know. I don't know. And I know, I don't even know if those are from the same country, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really drawn to that, and started watching movies. And, I remember the first time I even saw Kill Bill, and I was just like, or was I like more like a woman? And I was more, you know what I mean? So, I think the yellow sash on the Asia made me see Uma Thurman in Kill Bill. Those movies are really hardcore, but they're very interesting. So it could be a warrior. It could be that you're a warrior in Asia, because that's what I'm getting. I'm getting a very feminine energy. Plus, remember that in a lot of history books in all different cultures, they don't always talk about the female or the divine feminine energy, right? So, like, you may hear a story of some samurai, but they make it out to be that they were, divine masculine, identified, or male identified in, physical form. But maybe, you were actually a woman. I'm feeling this really strong Kill Bill vibe. So I don't know if you guys, because I was just telling you about myself, but then they gave me that, and it felt very precise. But it could be something completely different. These are just a few things that's going to be different for all of you. There are 5 different readings here. So let me just sit for a second and talk to Spirit. Are there any more messages, Spirit, for reading 1? Oh, okay. So for some of you, you were drowned, which is probably why they have the water coming down so hard. Um, or it could be like maybe you don't like water, or you don't like rain. Maybe you live somewhere that's really dry and in the desert because you don't like rain. But it's something like that. I'm definitely feeling like there was a drowning. It feels like very deep water. At first, I felt like it was just like you were far off the dock, but then it felt like, um, and again, this could be for more than one person, but then it felt like almost like a submarine, but not a submarine. I don't know how to explain it, but it was like a boat that was like not exactly really high up off the ground or high up off the water. It almost felt like feels like a dock or something. So I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if this is helping at all. I'm seeing a fisherman. But yeah, I'm feeling now I'm feeling like more like male identified, like a strong masculine energy. I'm also seeing a little boy. A little boy. Now we're in Asia, but this is kind of moving more towards India. So I'm feeling like you have to remember that Asia is a very big place. And if you're not familiar with geography, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to look up all the countries in Asia. And maybe this is just for you to like identify with that, because I feel like for some of you, you're struggling because you're not letting something go. And spirit is really trying to help you move past this because it's an obstacle. And I feel like for some of you, it's become a phobia. It could even be something that's like keeping you from like doing your mission or your purpose. I'm also seeing somebody, at least one person, who is like hiding themselves away from the world. Like I'm feeling like plants maybe, but like, or maybe a fish, but definitely I'm not feeling like people or animals. And I'm feeling like you kind of hide yourself away from the world. It could be like, oh gosh, I feel like for some of you, you don't really leave your home very often. The way the world is now, you're working from home, you're getting food delivered to your home. It's almost like you've become agoraphobic. I'm feeling like for some of you, just the energy outside is just too intense for you and you're really struggling. This is also for some of you, I feel like you were buried alive and that's why you feel like that. So you feel like, yeah, wow, this is really intense. Okay, so as an empath, I can really feel this fear and I can feel this like, as long as you stay in your little box. I feel like some of you are in an apartment. Um, yeah, but I'm hearing you need to get out more. You need to interact more with the world. You've gotten into this very paranoid, scared place, and spirit doesn't want you to live like that. That's like no way to live. Like you're not living. So I don't know who that message was for, but I feel like that's for at least one person. Okay. No more messages. Okay, so those are all the messages for reading one. I hope they helped you in any way. And I'm almost feeling like this wants to come down a little bit. Okay, so now we are going to dive into reading two. And also when I looked down for reading two, I saw 809. So it could be the angel number for you to work with. It could also be like the zero went away and I saw 89. So maybe you were born in 1989. Also, I just felt this energy here that came in. Welcome number two, welcome reading two. You have a past life or past energy from Egypt that you need to release and let go. And the reason why I hesitated was while I was sitting here, this very ominous, large figure, dark figure just came over to my right. I thought it was maybe something with the lighting, but it was not. And I felt, I'm feeling shadow people energy. I'm feeling darkness. And I'm also feeling like for some of you, like this is either past life dark magic or this life dark magic or all of the above. But I'm feeling like for some of you, like dark magic is something that I feel like even you fucked with it. Like you went too far, either in a past life or this life. And also I'm feeling like, or it's something you're thinking about doing in the future. Cause I'm feeling like this future energy and I don't know if you heard me scratching myself, but I'm starting to feel kind of itchy. And it's almost like for some of you, like you're crawling out of your skin and you're really, really struggling. If you haven't watched the other readings, you don't have to feel obligated to, but I am going to leave the other pictures up because I feel like there's something there also with reading one and two. And reading 4 and 5, I was feeling like 1 and 2 felt like there might be messages in there for both of you. Reading 1 and reading 2, people who were drawn to either might really need messages from both. And I felt the same thing for 4 and 5. So if you were drawn to 4 or 5, like I said, I mean, most of the time when we do these kind of like past life readings, they're very specific, because this was all about releasing and letting go of the past so that you can finally move forward. And for a large portion of you to finally step into your purpose. Some of you are doing your purpose already, but some of you haven't fully stepped into your purpose. So yeah, I'm definitely feeling that. Also, let me just tell you from personal experience. Okay, this is just my experience, but the shadow people are actually really funny. They don't really have emotions. They have a sense of humor, but in a really dark, twisted way. And it's because they don't have emotions. And it's not, they want you to look at them in a different way. Or maybe there's a shadow that keeps following you. And I feel like maybe in a past life, either you kind of messed with the shadow people or the darkness, or you just like went further than maybe you anticipated. But I literally have seriously had like a lot of moments with them. I used to have a lot of fear around them. So I talked to you in this because I have a past life in Egypt and Asia as well. And I spoke of, in reading one, I spoke of my past life in Asia. But the past life in Egypt feels very, very dark. And I feel like a lot of people did a lot of sacrifice type magic, you know, like killing children, eating hearts, you know, yeah, like just really fucked up shit. Like, you know, baby breeding for, you know, even now, like, I know for the mothers, please, I know it's hard, but, you know, it's happening, whether we want to see it, whether we don't, you know, it's like, you can't, I'm getting this vibe, like, it's like you're trying to run away from the shadow of yourself. You're trying to run away from your own darkness. And Spirit is like, but the whole point is like, we need the light and the dark. You know what I mean? Like, we need the shadow. I mean, my cat's a perfect example, you know, she's black and she's white and she has like really cool green eyes, right? But I've seen cats that look like her that are fully white and fully black. And every time I look at her, I always think, you know, especially the white whiskers poking out of her black fur and her face, I feel like she just gives me these visuals all the time of like how much we need to balance the light and the shadow in ourselves. So that's what I'm feeling for you as well. Like, it's time to balance your shadow and to accept the shadow and accept that part of you. For those of you who are dealing and dabbling in the dark magic, I am asking you to really like, don't fuck with something you don't understand. If you feel like it's part of your path, absolutely, you know, but there are some people, it's not part of your path in this lifetime. So you're going to bring in some elements and some energy that you were not asking for. And also, Spirit is saying, stop being Florence Nightingale. You can't save anybody, or you can't save anybody but yourself is the first message. Thank you, Spirit. And the other thing was, you can't save everybody. You hear that? You cannot save everybody. And it's not your job to save everybody. Your job in this lifetime is to take care of yourself and obviously help others, but you can't help others if you're not helping you. Okay, any other messages, Spirit? Not at this time. Okay, so reading 2, you know, just work with that. That's like a really, really big deal. But I just want to tell you thank you, Spirit, my personal experience. When I started to instead of being afraid of the shadow people, I decided to face them and work with them. And when I did, that's when I started to realize that they had an incredible sense of humor. And that is how they deal. Because I was like, how can you have a sense of humor and not have emotions? And it's like, it's not for us to understand. But, you know, so it's like, to some people, they're like, oh my gosh, they just like lopped that dude's head off. Like, they were part of like that. And it's like, yeah, but that's the way that they chose for that to be. Once you start looking at the shadow for what it is, which is a part of you and a part of all of us, and that we need it to survive, you will understand what your purpose is. Okay, so that's it. All right, yay, wow, these are really cool and intense. This is so fun. Okay, so reading 3, medicine man or woman. Medicine man or woman. Do you hear that? Medicine man or woman. Meaning that you do not have to identify with anything to be what you are, if that makes any sense, okay? Like, you are magic. You know, you are magic. Look at the light that just came in. All I did was move the candle. And look at how this cool light is coming in. I could see where, okay. So either way, you know, I feel like, do you see how the light's almost like mimicking the hand? You know, it's like next to it, that purple. I feel like for some of you, maybe you're drawn to reading 4. With a lot of these readings, they had me keep the other cards up because if you're drawn to something else, it could be because you could have multiple past life stuff coming in. You could have, as a medicine, person, all that means is that you are here to heal and teach. Heal yourself, teach yourself so that you can heal and teach others. What makes the greatest medicine man or woman is someone who went through it first. When I looked down, I saw 1517. So that's an angel number for you to work with, 1517. Okay? It's also the number 14, which is the number 5. So it's change and transformation time. It's time for you to walk the walk. Stop talking about it. Stop reading about it. Stop researching about it. You can still do those things, but you have to put them into practice now. If you keep asking, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? This is your purpose. And for some of you with the hand there, you're a hands-on healer. For some of you, right, that's a dream catcher. You're a dream weaver. Maybe you're somebody who works with people with helping with dream analysis. Maybe you're a medium, maybe you're all of the above. Maybe you're a hands-on healer. But the fact that there's a hand there tells me that you are. Now, even though that is giving us a really strong Native American vibe, they want you to look at it as indigenous medicine. You're an indigenous healer. You're just a really old soul, and you've done this through every single lifetime. They're saying, wake up and remember who you are. And as a beautiful crone, gently and lovingly, but brusquely reminded me recently. She said, clean it up, when I was telling her, how I'd strayed from my diet and I wasn't feeling like myself. So same for you. Spirit is saying, clean it up, clean up everything. This is time. This is your wake up call. And this is going to be harsh, but this is what I'm hearing from Spirit. This is your wake up call. If not now, when? Meaning, like, you have everything aligned for your path and your purpose right fucking now. I know that's like harsh and like in your face, like, with the F word and everything, but seriously, like, there's no more waiting. This is the year. This is the time. This is the time. Ooh, and I looked down, 1713. So seriously, okay, it's also the number 12, which is the number 3. So I have a feeling like you guys see numbers like this all the time. There's messages, like I feel like you're getting signs from Spirit. Like right now, I'm just feeling like this overwhelm. Like I just want to rub my face and my head. And I feel like Spirit's like, get in touch with who you are, because you're forgetting who you are and you're forgetting your path and your purpose. Okay? Are there any more messages, Spirit? Okay, they're getting really stern with some of you guys because you've been doing this for so long. They're saying, stop asking the how. The only way for you to know is for you to meditate. And, I don't normally feel this kind of, it's not anger, because it's like the human thing that feels like anger. It's not anger. It's just them being very serious. Like they're getting so stern with you and they cannot get any more stern with you. This is from love. This is, like I'm feeling like some of you are crying right now because and they're saying, yes. Yes, you have to leave that person. Yes, you have to leave that job. Yes, you have to stop talking to that family member. Yes, if you're asking these questions. But the only way for you to really find these answers is to go inward. My loves, I love you so much. And I would never, ever ask you, and Spirit would never ask you to do anything that they haven't gone through first. These are like messages that are coming through from people who have been human before. These are entities that have been human before. These are family members. These are ancestors. I called in the ancestors. I called in all those who are meant to be here today. Okay? So there is a reason to everything turn, right? And now this is it. Now is the time. Now is the hour. You have the strength and you have the power. Stop fucking around. Stop saying that you're not that powerful. Stop saying, oh, it's just going to get better. Or this is going to... No, it's not. Get off the merry-go-round. Get off the loop. It's time. It's time to walk the walk. Okay? It's time to talk the talk and walk the walk. You have to do both. All right, you guys, 1913, ooh, and then 1914, and those could be years for you guys. All right, until next time, take good care of yourselves and each other. Okay, I'm moving on to reading 4. Okay, reading 4, I only have 10 minutes. We got this. Ooh, finances. Okay, so for those of you who chose reading 4, and look at that. Do you see that? Can I just tell you right now, I had the cards in a different order. They were very, very, very specific of how the order of these cards went. If you were drawn to reading 1, 2, or 3, they're there before you. If the picture feels right, go and watch it. If not, don't make a story your story. It could be something from the past that you don't need to worry about that anymore or concern yourself with that anymore, because I don't use fear-based words. I'm hearing that from you, but you don't need to do that, is what I'm hearing from Spirit, because you already know what you need to do. And for those of you that are what did you say? Okay. Do you see the way that the light is falling on the cards? For some of you who are drawn to reading 3 and this reading 4, please go back and watch reading 3, because it was a very strong message from Spirit. But I love this because I feel like they did this for a reason. I mean, do you see how the light is in here, right? So it's like falling in. It's like Spirit wants you to see how, even my ring being sparkly, right? Oh, it was being sparkly. Oh, see, this is because you don't believe it, but they're trying to show you. This is what they're trying to say. In this one, we spoke about the medicine man or woman, about like your purpose, that you are a light worker, like that you are meant to help people in that respect. It's the same. If they're saying, for those of you who are wondering like why your finances aren't happening, you're like, why is it over here? They're like, I'm trying to bring it to you, but the only way for you to get your money is for you to do what you came here to do. Stop concerning yourselves with the hows and the whys. They're saying just do it. Do you see how the light is blocking out the word finances? Because they don't want you to look at it like that anymore. They want you to look at it as abundance. And we have abundance in all different levels. If you are watching this right now and you have a roof over your head and you have food in your house, if you have warmth, if your house feels safe and secure, then you are richer than most people on this planet. If not, then I send you love and peace and happiness and abundance. And I guarantee you, when you start believing in yourself and you go towards your path and your purpose, the money will come. But this is from an old past poverty consciousness that doesn't belong to you. And it could be from Asia, it could be from Egypt, if you're drawn to one of those. It could be from another time, I don't know what 5 has to bring, but I did feel like 4 and 5 were kind of tied together. But I'm definitely feeling like the finances thing, it's from this life too. I feel like for some of you, you had very poverty consciousness parents, right? Because they had no money growing up. And so that made you like feel like really insecure as well, because, it was, I know for myself, it was very similar. Both of my parents came from very large families and nothing ever went to waste. I remember one time I was cooking dinner with a friend and he was like, oh, it must be nice to throw that food away. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm cutting away the parts that aren't good. And he's like, well, when I was growing up, we ate all of it, and I'm like, but it's bitter. It's not even good. He's like, it's food, isn't it? He's like, it'll be good once it's cooked with everything else. And I was like, and I was very taken aback by that. And I was like, that was so interesting to me. And that's when I started to realize why, and again, they were a medicine person, right? They were a light worker. And I was like, that's so interesting. And then I started to realize like how much the poverty consciousness does really like mess with the way things come in. And right now, Spirit's trying to show us that in this year, especially the year of the dragon, right? And we're still in this, Sagittarius moon energy when I'm doing this reading. Jupiter is all about good luck and good fortune and like everything like kind of going your way. And so is the dragon, right? So use this year. 2024 is a really powerful year. Whenever you watch this, it's timeless. But in real time, we're at the end of May 2024. We just went past the full moon in Sagittarius, and we are in the Taurus energy of the Taurus moon energy, but we're in Gemini season. So I feel like for all of us until the end of, like, I feel like from now until the beginning of next spring, next year, I feel like this is it. This is it. I'm not saying that things aren't going to happen for us, but this is the year for us to make or break it. And Spirit is saying, like, if you don't believe in it, it won't come. Those who don't believe in the magic will never find it. And you are a natural magician, Like, there's a reason why you're here. You're not meant to struggle anymore. Even if you struggled in this lifetime, you're not meant to struggle anymore. The finances are there. They're just waiting for you. Also, it's very interesting because in this card, Do you see how there's like the coins have like different images on them? I feel like for some of you also, it could be like your parents, you know, come from like a different culture or a different, you know, and that's really hard to break free from, you know, because it's not yours, it's theirs. Okay. So I hope that helped in any way. I'm going to move on to reading 4. Do we have any more messages? Nope. They're saying move on. Excuse me. We're going to move on to reading 5. And that is leaving or travel. Leaving or travel. Okay, so for some of you, oh, interesting how the lighting. Okay, so the lighting totally changed on this card. This is really wild. The leaving or travel. This, okay, I'm going to let you, Spirit, tell me what you want to say because I feel like there's a lot to say and I don't have a lot of time. I'm hearing, I'm leaving on a jet plane. John Denver, I don't know when I'll be back again. I'm feeling like for some of you, the past life is that there's abandonment issues. And I'm feeling like for some of you, you chose reading 5 because I feel like deep down, you know, you have to leave somewhere and go somewhere else, whether it's for your job, for maybe you just need a new life, you know. I'm feeling like there's death. So I'm feeling like death of a relationship. It could be romantic. It could be a family. It doesn't feel like a job. It feels like a death of like a family or a relationship, something like that. Like, or maybe you were hanging on to your family, but like the one family member that you actually really like was close to or were close to has passed, and you've tried and you've tried and you've tried, and you're like, I just can't make a go of it. I just don't. I feel like you guys feel like that these people are just not they're just not your people. They're not your family. And you know what? Spirit's saying you're not wrong. They're not. And so, you know, I don't know if you're drawn to these others, but this is reading 1, reading 2, reading 3, reading 4, and we're on reading 5. So maybe there is some other medicine for you in either reading 1, which is Asia, reading 2 is Egypt, reading 3 is medicine man or woman, reading 4 is finances, and reading 5 is leaving or travel. Yeah, I mean, I just keep hearing John Denver over and over. I'm leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. And I think for some of you, that really scares you to leave your home and leave everything that you know to do something brand new. But Spirit says without great risk, there is not a great reward. And for some of you, like that's where your finances lie. And it's interesting because the F and the I is covered, and the way that my phone is looking, it almost looks like Nancy and reading 4. So this could be a name for you, or it could be the family member, you know, that passed. It could be a grandmother. I mean, who knows? I really don't know. But the leaving or travel is kind of like make it or break it. I feel like for some of you, like you want to move to Hollywood, or you're like, you know, if you didn't watch the reading that led into this, it was a reading for the collective for the full moon in Sagittarius. And I'll put a link below in the comments and in the description box. But you may want to go back and watch that for the collective, because there were 2 messages in there. There was one about Celtic and one about wars and battles. So there could be something in there for you as well. Are there any more messages that you want to convey for reading 5, Spirit? Yeah, and I'm feeling a strong grandmother energy. Like for some of you, or it's almost like I feel like for some of you, you were going to leave and then a grandparent got sick, or somebody that you really love got sick. But I feel like they want you to go too. And you're like, but I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't. And I've been there before. I've totally been there before. That's the worst. I love you so much for if whoever is going through that, I really understand. But they want you to live your life. But I definitely feel for some of you, someone has crossed over. Now I'm feeling like a father figure that has crossed over, and they're kind of saying you've never been one to walk away from a challenge. Why are you doing it now? Oh yeah. Oh, I just got the chills. So they're like, don't stay for mom, or don't stay for brother, or you know, whoever this message is for. Like, don't stay for someone. You know, like you have to go for you. And they're saying, do not be concerned about what's going to happen, because once you go to where you are, all of the people that you've been looking for, your community, your tribe will be there. I feel like for some of you, we talked about this in reading 1. So if you were drawn to reading 1, you may want to go and look at it, but about being alone, living alone, you know, But they're saying, no, it's because you're keeping yourself away from the world, because you don't even know what's out there yet. But there is something out there for you. So it's time. Are there any more messages? I have less than a minute, you guys. Okay, so I hope this helped you in any way. All of my information is in the About section. If you would like to reach out and have a one-on-one reading, you can email me at the magical medium or magicalmedium@gmail.com. Also, there are links there if you would like to contribute to any of the work that I do on this channel or any of my channels. But anyway, I hope this helped you. I love you so much. Take good care of yourselves and each other. Any last minute messages for reading 5? Self-care, self-care. This is for everybody. Self-care. Take good care of yourselves. All right, you guys. We love you so much. We'll see you next time. Blessed be. Oh.